Hello, and a very warm welcome to SportsLumo's special Olympic series 50 Greatest Olympic Moments in India's History. I am Siddharth Vishwanathan, editor-in-chief of SportsLumo.com, and I will be taking you along this fabulous journey of India's glorious 93 years in the Olympics. In this episode, I am going to focus upon a giant in football, especially Indian football. Let me take you back to 1960 Rome Olympics. The 50s and the 60s were very, very interesting times for Indian football. They were a force to reckon with. They had beaten Australia and had come very close to a medal in 1956 Melbourne. In 1960, they were in a very tough group. Hungary, France, Peru and India. If you talk about World Cup qualification in the modern era, India wouldn't stand no chance. But if you talked about it in the 60s, they really did have a great chance. Hungary were dominant. They thrashed Peru and France 6-2 and 7-0. They also beat India, but it was just 2-1. How come a side that was so dominant in the league stages managed to be kept quiet? It involved the work of a gigantic defender. It involved the work of a brilliant defender. He survived the horrors of partition. He was jeered by rivals whenever he got the ball. His mental strength was immense. This is the story of Jarnail Singh, the giant of Indian football. Just like Milkha Singh, Jarnail Singh also faced the horrors of partition. Born in Lyallpur, Jarnail Singh was witness to the horrors that partition wrought on India and Pakistan. Fearing for his life, his dad put him in a cramped truck and they took him across the border. Little did Jarnail Singh know that this would be the last time he would see his family. Death awaited him at every turn. He somehow survived, struggled through the initial phases, but he honed his skill in football. Such was his skill that Jarnail Singh was included in the Mohun Bagan side a couple of years afterwards, after hard work at various levels. The club management did not want him, but one particular individual had backed Jarnail Singh. Whenever Jarnail Singh got the ball, whenever he even tapped the ball, there would be jeers from the Mohun Bagan fans even. The Mohun Bagan East Bengal clashes were the ultimate in Indian football. Like the El Clasico, like the Super Clasico, like the Old Firm. The rivalry is intense. But when Jarnail Singh put on a great performance against East Bengal, perhaps all was forgiven. After all, a great performance in all these marquee events does lend you a lot of credibility. But at the end of the day, Jarnail Singh was a perfectionist. He was a hardcore central defender. He hated giving or yielding even 1 inch of space to the attack. That aggression, combined with his hard tackles, made Jarnail Singh one of the best in the business. Not just in India, he was also getting the reputation of being the best in Asia. Initially, he was not so good defending in the air, those leaps, those tackles. How did he hone that? One account by a journalist stated that when Jarnail Singh had a break, he would go to his village. He would then tie a ball on the branch of a tree. He would then leap and then stretch his legs in such a way that he could even tackle the ball and kick the ball midair. The initial weakness was overcome in such novel terms. Those skills would help India in their clash against Hungary. But before that, in the Rome Olympics, India had held the mighty French 1-1. Yes, folks, such results were possible because of the Indian football team. They did do it. Jarnail Singh was responsible for it in a big way. How did he tackle the might of the Hungarians in 1960 Rome? It is an intriguing event. In the match against Hungary, Jarnail Singh was tasked with containing Flórián Albert, a future Ballon d'Or winner and a Hungarian football great. Jarnail Singh was intimidating and his tackles were rough and a sight to behold. At the other end, Flórián Albert was one of the most elegant players that Hungary had produced in that generation. He had the ability to wrong-foot defenders. He also managed to even get the best defenders blown away by his skill. But Jarnail Singh did not give a damn. He did not care about the reputation of the opposition. He did not care about who was who in the opposition. He had a simple task: stop the attacker, defend the football, and ensure that no goals were scored. This was an intriguing clash-up between Jarnail Singh and Flórián Albert, and Jarnail Singh came out on top. It was a shame that India did not manage to beat Hungary. Otherwise, the efforts of Jarnail Singh would have been rewarded even greater. India did not make it to the knockouts in the 1960 Rome Olympics. And sadly, that was the last time India had ever qualified for the Olympics. It's been 61 years and the wait continues. But Jarnail Singh established himself as one of the greatest footballers, not just in India but also in Asia. He was named in an Asian 11, a legendary 11, and was awarded the Arjuna Award in 1964. He was the lone Indian in that Asian Legends 11. That was the power of Jarnail Singh. His journey was simply remarkable, and it was a testament to his inner strength and mental strength that made him one of the greatest Olympians to have featured for India. Thank you so much for listening to this special episode of SportsLumo special series 50 Greatest Olympic Moments for India. Press the subscribe button, tap the bell icon, like, comment and share, folks. You will get more anecdotes from this as you subscribe. There'll be more stories coming up in the coming days, folks. In the next episode, I will be talking about how Adolf Hitler, the Führer, was dazzled by a hockey magician from India. Stay tuned for that special episode, folks.